So I'm doing this last streamcast because I won't call it broadcast anymore. And Sean is right. I'm a freak. I'm a freak about time because it's one of the things that I can control. I can be early and think that, well, maybe if they have time to squeeze me in, or like, you know, I can get acclimated to my environment. And so I don't have to, like, I can go, oh, this is a hospital, or this is a restaurant, or I respect your time. Not that anybody else would do that. You know, it's like mañana time. If I understand that that's what it is, then it's like, okay, well, I'm on mañana time. But that's not how I operate unless I know the rules. Then I'm like on my time because it's important. And it's one thing that I can control. So if you don't have a lot that you can control, like your time, you know, well, I did this in the past. I just left. I was like, screw it. I'm leaving. Not waiting for you. Not waiting 2 hours to see a doctor. You know. Well, I remember they kept me waiting once at Dr. Stern's office. I was like, how do you leave me in a room for that long? You know, and with no one coming to see you and saying, hey, you're going to wait for it. And I did that at Greenway. She wasn't there, so I left. It's not funny. Well, it is in a ha way. And Sarah, if you're listening, Miley Cyrus and Aleister Crowley ever get together, good luck. Lay lines, lay down. I was working my headphone set on the bus. It's like, it's difficult sometimes because well, I'm a freak, so what do you expect? I'm probably the worst freak of them all because I'm so normal. Crazy. I'm like, they didn't want you in this clique and this clique and this. So you're in your own little middle clique. And they're like, oh God, you put the rest of the middle people on. And they're like, what do we do with them? Weirdo. Yeah. Really. If you wake up in the morning and you have nothing to say, don't say anything. And if the other person wonders why you're not saying something, it's like, you know what? You could talk. You could say something, share your thoughts, share what you experienced, how you wake up in the morning. I noticed the little sleight of hands. Get it? Tin Man. I noticed that stuff. Not that I would do anything about it. I've said stuff about it in the past, but it's I'm not going to be bothered with it. I didn't want to say something else. So I did do a lot of work showing, like, pro-Palestinian support and the Somali community because they were new in Minnesota. But I also want to say this: what barbarism to cut people's hands off and do that thing called a tribulation and that cut people's heads off. Like idiots. I'd be ashamed if that's where my family came from. I'd be like, enough of you. And here's the thing, Sean and I were talking about this. Why come to this country if you're an immigrant and then vote for Republicans if they don't want you? I mean, Sean was right. They scare people on the abortion issue and family values. And then they're like secretly going, we don't want any of those immigrants. It's true. So you're like all these conservatives with family values. And then they're like, you're the people they don't want. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's like, welcome to America. Now vote Republican. We don't want you. And we're going to say that secretly. And, oh, wait a minute. And when you become Americans as immigrants, think about what you're voting for. You might be stopping your family from coming here. But they don't want you to know that. And Donald Trump, I mean, well, and Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, but it was different, right? And our rights are slowly going. Come on, think about what crazy people came here to establish this country, to take it over from the Native Americans. They weren't even Americans. They were just Native. None of this American business. They were like, this is my land. This is my country. This is my home. And these crazy people came from the East. I did talk about the American flag being all straight lines, this rectangle, and blue with stars, and red and white. I mean, we wouldn't want to change that, but. Well, everybody has people fly flags all the time. I do like the Minnesota state flag. And Sean and I were talking about what if Minnesota seceded from the nation and just became this island with North and South Dakota and Iowa and Wisconsin. But, we can have our own little humanitarian land, the heartland. And that would take an act of God. Being like, we want to see the future be like this and have large cities and farmland and, and lakes. And friendly neighbors. It would be the 5-state area. A star. But that would mean that people would have to be courageous and stand up to the government and say, we're tired of giving you money and corrupting our beliefs. Minnesota is like this reflection of the world. I mean, many other places are a reflection of the world, but you know, there's some places where segregation is so noticeable. I mean, it is noticeable in Minnesota because people group together. But that's what happens. Like-minded people do group together. Well, and then when people start coming into like-minded communities, they're like, how do we do with them? You know, it's like, well, we include them and we understand their culture. And I'm telling you this, if you come here and you believe that, like, you know, that some parties are protecting you, it's not true. They don't want you here. Maybe things have changed. I don't watch the news anymore, so. I mean, can you imagine if, like, all of the gay people in Minnesota or the United States went to Iraq and just said, we're going to live in Iraq now? Everyone. Or all the, you know. And be like, no. Put a rainbow flag on Iraq. And be like, no more cutting off people's hands for stealing because they're hungry in the streets. You know? Or beheading people. What's that about? Well, it's about nothing. Those souls come back to get you, buddy. There were some old Indian practices that I remember watching them, and I was like, I knew it was still going on some places. And I was like, that is not right. That is not right. I did understand. I understood a little bit of it, but it was like, well, because what do they do with them once their husbands died? But don't let them in fire with the funeral. So, you know what I mean? Just like, well, they ended up, it was horrible what they ended up doing, some of them. But I think that our history as people, we haven't really learned all that much. And I still say this, we're not that far from the Sri Lankan temple monkeys throwing our shit at each other and using sticks and stones or weapons to get what we want and then calling each other names. I don't mind being called a freak. Or whore, or slut. That comrade thing got me. I was like, well, alright. I don't mind though. I mean, it's only language. I don't give it any power anymore. Those nasty words. So I'm like, you know. And the brutification of Minneapolis, of Minnesota. I mean, I told Sean, wouldn't it be funny if you saw all those little orange crushes running around? What would they do? They'd be like, I don't know, technology and like, you know. An adaptation to West. It would be a culture shock in some ways. And then learning to, well, in many ways, education is scripture. You can think of it like that. It's a religion. Well, many things you can think of as religions. We talked about that before, about technology being a religion, education being a religion, religion being a religion. I was going to say something else about religion, and then I thought I won't, because I think that's too much information for a time where it's like, that's too much. And some people know what I was talking about in my mind. It's like, that is a lot. I don't want to. What do you do though? I mean, like I said, what do you do when you have knowledge that destroyed your belief, and then you have to like well, in many ways, you have to find something else to believe in or create some beauty in yourself so you can go up there again. So you don't have to be rich and famous to be up here. You can just be average, anybody, everybody, and be like, you know what? I believe in myself, and if other people don't have to believe in, you know, they can believe in themselves. So and that's really what it's about sometimes too, is just the belief. And a lot of times when I was little, I was like, I'll show them. You know, I'll show them. And then it was like, oh, I just got to continue my education for like a gazillion years. But I'm done in school. I'm like, I don't need a university degree to prove that I'm a card-carrying member of the human race. I was doing it in the beginning. I was doing it to fulfill a dream that I had about getting my PhD. But dreams change, like I said before. Like that one time that I said I was going to work as a psychosexual disorder therapist, and I was like, when I knew it when I was 18 that was not a good thing. And a lot of times you think about, they call them disorders, but they're not really disorders. A lot of them are just conditions that the humans experience. Disorder makes it sound, it's a euphemism, well, making it sound like something else nicer so it could like appease people or like go, well, that's a normal human condition and I have it. Might take the stigma of things down a notch, and people could be like, all right, I have that. It's not a stigma. You know what? I told you that I have the terminal disorder or condition of being Stephen Philip Lindquist. And that's, I don't know if anybody else wants that disorder or that condition. It's not always easy to like do reflection or mirror emotions of other people. sometimes it's taxing, not like syntax. And again, I was on the bus today and I was sitting there crying like a baby because I was like, I really love people, and I don't know what to do. If it's better off just leaving and being by myself again, alone, and just tending to gardens and like raising goats and herbs. I was like, they've got me so worked up about little batteries running around, you know. Sean knows what that means. It got me so worked up about using or like upsetting their delicate balance of, I live a program. It's like, well, good for you. My life involves more than living a set program. It involves like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. I'm involved in this. I'm choosing this. That's why I have a hard time setting goals now, because it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. So it's like, oh, set a goal. And I'm like, you set a goal. You set something. I feel like, well, I'm going to live like I'm on vacation and just be like, well, whatever happens. It's like, you know, I have a schedule at work where I have to show up. Get it? No more, no call, no shows. Thanks, Mother. Not being snide or anything, but it's like, it's not easy. And sometimes, oh, and look at the quiet one talked and no one asked. And now it's like, oh, geez. Look what we did. Shut them up. Just, you know, and I chose to wear all black clothes again. I used to do that when I was younger because it's easy. They don't get dirt. I mean, you can see dirt on them, but they don't get as dirty as, you know. And this one was cheap. It was $4. So if you want to like judge somebody's life, you know, be perfect, and then write me a book about your perfect life, how perfect you can, you know, because I haven't been. And I said that I'm hard on the people I love. Well, and I tell them how to hurt me in hopes that they don't, but so that they know the things that upset me. And I'll probably always do that. Because well, there's some trust involved in that. It's like, I'm trusting you with this secret about how to hurt me. And it's not like you failed. It's like, well, okay, we'll trust you again. And I know I'm at McDonald's, but you know what? Coffee's up good, and there's Wi-Fi. And you get an unlimited cup. And I like being here. I like being around people. I did think that on the bus. I was like, that makes me disgusted about cutting people's hands off and beheading them. It's, yeah. That kind of stuff comes back to those people who do that in ways they can never imagine. And all organized religions, or a lot of them, are at fault for some type of something. I mean, I harp on the Christians a lot because I'm like, it's hard to admit that as a Christian country, that the atrocities that no one wants to say, well, everybody knows, but they think it was like for their good, for their own good. We're saving your soul by killing, half the indigenous population of South America. It's for their own good. Well, then I said, don't worry about it. You weren't saving their souls because the Mormons do that. See how silly that is? It was for their own good. One, they had gold. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Vatican City? Oh, I'm sorry, what was that built on? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It was built on the destruction of other people and taxation, and it's so secret. And it's protected by neutrality. But who paid for it? Well, the deaths of thousands of people. So our holy temples are built on the, on the deaths and costs of human lives. And then they're forbidden. We forbid you from knowing our secrets. It's like, are you serious? Maybe the new Pope Francis knows that. Like, hey, we built this city on blood and gold from other people. Shaking up the old orders and maybe bringing some new blood and new life and some new rules would be nice. And some acknowledgement that there was culpability on the Catholic Church and on the Church of God, of the Christian God, that thousands of people died, and a lot of times gold would have been just given because indigenous people were like, it's just gold. But they took and took and took and took and took, and then they killed them all. And then there's no gratitude or reparation, or I don't know. We weren't so innocent here in our country. Just took and took and. Oh, moving west. But who wants to hear that? You know what? National guilt. Or spiritual guilt. It's just like, it's hard to come to terms with. Looking at the time, I'm like, I'm usually there a half hour before start time. I'm gonna be 15 minutes before start time. I'm usually there waiting for Murphy. He's like, what are you doing here? You're so early. And I'm like, I know, I'm just... So what would happen if the Pope did say, we built this city? That song, I can't even remember what it was. We built this city. It's true though, and I mean, and it's got to be taken into context of the time. Yes, that's true. It was a different time, but now that we know, we should do something different. We know that those things happened in the context of the time. And then the same people, the same ancestors who are trying to come to this country, they're like, we don't want them. It's like, well, there's some mixed feelings then, isn't there? Well, sorry what we did to all your people and your ancestors, and took your gold and your money, and, you know, probably would be a little bit more wealthy now, but no, we don't want you. Keep your votes. You know? All right, switch your vote. If you don't want people who don't want you in a country, or if you vote for people who don't want you in a country, then you might as well just go back to your own country, because they're going to find a way to kick you out. Minnesota's been really good about finding ways to get people in. The rest of the country, like building a fence. Yeah, well, building a fence, you know, yeah, we're sorry about all the stuff that happened between our two countries, but hey, we're going to build a fence, because fences keep people out. Yeah, we'll see how well that works. I still am under the impression that and this is my political view on the Middle East, if you have nuclear war weapons, you don't need one of the superpowers protecting you anymore. Especially when you don't listen. You know. So it's not hate speech either. It's like you don't listen. I don't know. And some of the ugly violence on the side that, well, I don't know what to call it. Like, it's in the Islamic world, needs to stop too. Well, you keep proving the point that that's why you need to be stopped. I mean, and I know I said that before, oppression breeds resistance, but people have to come to terms with something. If not, then what? I mean, go ahead. One day it'll be too late. And they'll be... You know why? Well, it stopped World War II. And it made people go, oh, we better... That's dangerous. We can't do that again. Just boom. Can you imagine if that's what... We're going to put an end to some violence, blow up a country. No, that's not the way to do it. But you could see it happening. And I think the best way to like build protection is to start building strong neighbors and strengthening relationships with your neighbors and people who aren't like you. Because then you can be like, oh, well, now I understand why. Now I understand. I mean, and it's about choices. You can choose to hate. You can choose to love. You can choose to be well, being indifferent shows difference. Well, and you can vote for people who don't like you. Why not? They'll find a way to kick you out of the country. Not you, Stephen, me. But immigrants, they'll find a way. Go ahead, be Republican too, if that's what you want to do. But just remember that it's more than abortion that's on the ticket. It's anti-immigration and how to keep people out. That means your families and your friends. I'm not saying that because it's so simple. And Sean agreed. He's like, it's pretty easy what they're doing. No. Hey, we're going to raise money from the people who we want to kick out. We're going to get their money. And then we're going to kick them out. Jesus. Well, it's a free country. They can do what they want, right? And you can participate in all you want. And I'll just sit back and go, told you so. You know, walk away. It'd be, well, and I said if I had like executive power, it'd be like, okay, those 8,000 page bills that people write, get somebody who knows how to write English on a high school level or a 12th grade level. Give people some credit for finishing school and cut them down. I want to see, 100 pages or less, because you can get a bill done in 100 pages or less. Wait, 1,500 words. New bill. No fence along the Mexican-United States border. Period. Not, and we're going to give money to this one, this one. And then by the time you know it, you're like, page 465, refer to paragraph 1 in section A on page 15. And you're like, wait a minute. I don't have time to keep going back and forth on these pages. I want 1,500 words or less. Because I want other people to be able to read it too. Like other people. Like the people who elect people. I want them to be able to say, oh, I understand that. Not like, I don't have time to read 8,000 pages. And I wouldn't, because I don't have a degree in, political science. Because do political science people really dumb it down for people? Sometimes you're like, what did they say? Because I'm not in the ag business or the, I don't know. Lesson learned. So, I suppose people could ask though, but if you ask the government, you're like, who do you call? And then if you call somebody, you're like, God. Then one time I reported something, they were like, yeah, we'll get back to you. Never happens. Well, if you had an army of people, maybe you could get something done. But I'm just saying. I don't know. It might be different now. Oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna stop the stream fast. Bye.